The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
This week on Thespian Talk, we have coronavirus protesters, stay-at-home protesters, and we have a list of demands from one certain kind of protest that we're going to read out in detail. All this and more on this week's Thespian Talk. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and with me this week is Scolipendra.
Hello, guys. I don't know what I'm doing.
And also Michelle is with us.
Hello, I sometimes know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And me, I say I know what I'm doing, but I don't always. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, you'll notice it came out a couple of days late. That's because this particular week for recording has just been bleh. Not really helped that on 420, which was this week. I was actually able to partake because the last time I went up to Illinois, I was able to get some of those edibles, like edible marijuana tarts, which it's legal to do in Illinois.
Cool.
So that's fun. So I got some of those, tried them up there. Yeah, it was all right. And then down here, I've just been taking them every now and then. But on 420, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take more than I have before. Normally, I take like just one or two. This time, I tried 4. And oh boy. It's like, okay, that's the main big high feeling. Okay, that's kind of a thing. And it was also the same. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Are we talking like cookies or like boiled candies or what?
Think of sweet tarts.
Oh, okay, like little sherbety sweets.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that same night, we did a round of D&D where Rosen, Rosen is the dungeon master, which is his first, and he's doing okay. And my character is a bard because, of course, a half elf bard to be precise, and I have named him Will Edwards. Because I am just that much of a nerd. And this particular night, we were fighting some goblins or whatever, and I said, you know what? I have this ability called Vicious Mockery, which is basically you attack a target by insulting them. And I rolled well enough that I insulted one goblin so much and so hard that he just charged straight into the pit. So I kind of ranted a goblin to death.
Nice.
And everybody out there is like, yeah, that is so on brand. Oh.
Yeah, you do notice it was a giggle, not a shock of surprise.
Yeah.
You didn't. How? You? No, you're so quiet.
Which the thing is, in play sessions, I'm usually a little bit more quiet, a little bit more laid back. So I was like, yeah.
Depending on the situation, obviously, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. And speaking of games, I finally finished up the tool assisted run for the Guardian Legend yesterday, and let me tell you, you think if you've played the game, the final boss is just a head with a couple of hands that just kind of reaches out and shoots missiles everywhere. And you would think it would be impossible to beat without taking any damage. It is not impossible. In fact, it is very possible. Against all common sense, you get up in his face. Literally.
Yep.
And face plus laser sword down the throat plus time, dead.
I think if you got a laser sword down the throat, do you need much time?
Yeah. It takes time because obviously high HP, but not too much time. Like in real time, it's maybe 2 minutes.
All right.
I think I would have to relook at the timing on that. But then after that, I did a recording of the entire run, and the entire run itself comes out to about just under 2 hours, no damage. which, yeah, that could use some cleaning up. So yeah, that has been me. How have you guys been the past couple of weeks?
I've been pretty good. Yeah, I think I said before, I actually get to go to work, so I've been working. Been just, going in, doing my thing, getting on with it. We got like enforced social distancing at work, whereas the break times are now scheduled, so only certain people can go at a certain time because keeping people apart and all that stuff. And we were like fucking ridiculous. Like, because a week before we all closed down, we were in each other's pockets anyway. We're in a relatively small factory, constantly in the same area. Like it was cold, so the doors weren't open. It's like either we've all got it or none of us are getting it. It's like.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to be like flip about people who have had it, and obviously sympathy's there, but I get why they're doing it, but sometimes it just feels like they're being a little overly.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just been kind of like go to work, do the thing, come home, chill out.
Yeah. I mean, not much some of us can do. So
yeah.
How about you, Scully?
Oh, I've been sort of alright, just kind of taking it easy. I mean, I did recently just kind of took a month off of drinking because I really needed to, and
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's been going well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, me, oh god, I think it's been at least a week or two since I've had a drink, but I usually don't drink very often to begin with, so.
Okay, it is celebrity news, but it kind of is relevant. Apparently Tom Holland has been spending a fair bit of his time just drinking and chilling with his friends that he can, that's already in his household. And he said, I've got to go clean for a month or so. And then apparently Ryan Reynolds sent him a whole bunch, sent him a load of gin, and he's like, "Well, rude not to."
Wow.
Also, apparently Ryan Reynolds makes his own gin.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I had a thought and I lost it. Wow, that happens sometimes.
Food, drink, work, rest.
Yeah, something like that. And speaking of things, this is just coming in on my end. Apparently, for anybody who plays Fallout 76, that game, the NPCs in Fallout 76 are looting players' corpses and permanently stealing items.
Ooh.
That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Oops.
So I see that clusterfuck's still going on.
Yeah, it's like, guys, just I can't even with them.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of the Fallout series. I like Elder Scrolls. That's pretty, but Fallout's just gritty and horrible. And
I've played some of Skyrim. I actually have Skyrim on my PC, and I've played a little bit, and it's not bad. Just couldn't get too much into it at once. At that particular point, I didn't have the time to dedicate to it, or the mental power that I'm also not dedicating to other things like shiny hunting, or Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Which, I've been playing that a bit myself, and I found my first tarantulas the other night.
Ooh.
And I cornered 2 of them. I caught one, and then the other one came and just knocked me out. I was like, damn it. And then I finally learned how you can catch wasps easily. Shake it down while you're holding the net, and then as soon as it turns over, you just keep hitting the button, you'll catch it. So revenge is mine. I can now sell the wasp and their nest, and there's nothing they can do about it. I'm not a fan of wasps, considering they stung me 3 times in one night.
Oh, come on!
Oh, God,
that was before I learned the little tricks. So,
was that one butthead or a group of them?
There was a few of them, because it was like, because once they sting you, they go away.
Oh.
But yeah, so Other things that have been going on in the world. Let's see. We've got coronavirus talk, but we got an actual news story about a particular one coming up later, because now people are protesting. Not the coronavirus, which, I mean, yeah, that would be a legit protest, because fuck the coronavirus. But people are protesting the stay-at-home orders. Like, I think, like, one of the noteworthy ones was, like, in Michigan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
People just walking around, just like we don't want to stay at home. I want to get a haircut. And you know these people are white.
Yeah, I don't... Of all the footage I've seen, I don't think I've even seen a tan.
Yeah. It's like... And here's the thing. Yes, I understand it's frustrating. I could use a haircut myself, to be completely honest with you. But you know what? I'm not about to go and put my life or the lives of others at risk unnecessarily just so I can have my ears lowered. Not doing it. This is the same notion that I'm not going out to my favorite restaurant. I would love to, but I can't, because we got the COVID times going around here, and we kind of want to keep everybody else alive. And these protesters, and I've also seen that a lot of these protests that are happening have also been, I think the term they use is astroturfed by larger corporations. Basically billionaires convincing the white dumb motherfuckers that, you know, that their rights are being oppressed. And it's like, no, this is not oppression. You want to know? You want oppression? Talk to a black person in America. They can tell you a thing or two about oppression. Talk to those children that are sitting in cages at the border and barely getting any treatment for COVID. By the way, they can tell you a thing or two about oppression. So shut the fuck up, Karen.
Goma.
Yes.
Did you see my rant in politics?
I probably did. But
would you like me to do a dramatic reading?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm not going to shout as much as you do, and give me a moment because I've still got a bit of pork in my mouth. The context is I have just eaten dinner.
Yeah.
Get your minds out of wherever they are.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second.
But yes, so and I brought up Karen, and that's another thing that's going around is some stupid white person is saying, well, Karen's a slur. It's on the par with the N-word. It's like, no. Rich entitled white women are not have never been oppressed to the point that black people have in this country. They just haven't. Now, you can make an argument for women in general being oppressed in this country, because they have. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But in the context this woman wants to put out there, no.
Okay. Okay. If you're comparing the severity of two words and you won't even say one of them, that's the worst word.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, good old John Mulaney.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm ready to do my reading now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So basically, the context of this rant originally, dear listener, is the fact that we were in a Discord discussing these things in the videos we were sharing them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this shit gets me so fucking angry. Rant incoming with all the bad words I know. You fucking selfish, moronic cunts! This is not about personal rights, state rights, or whatever the fuck your tiny-brained ignorance believes it is. This is a worldwide pandemic, you complete twats. Nearly every country is on some kind of lockdown, and we're all getting on with it, protecting our neighbours, our families, and our key workers. You precious fucking snowflakes are probably the first in line to protest abortion. You know, that thing that is all about personal medical choice? And I would not be surprised if a majority of you are also anti-vax. Another tremendously ignorant stance. Side note, how many anti-vaxxers do you think are actually vaxxed? I'm guessing about 90% of over 30 accepting groups that live off the grid or have actual medical exceptions. Where was I? Anti-vax shit for brains. God will not protect you or your children from this or any other infectious disease just because you prayed hard enough. Your arrogant attitude is not just putting yourself in danger, but everyone else around you, especially those of you who are trying to stay safe. Especially those who are trying to stay safe. this does not affect only you. It affects everyone. I do not wish death on anyone, even you selfish fucktards, but there is a small part of me that hopes you catch it, because then you have to stay indoors, again, not wishing death. But I do hope your hair falls out. Wankers!
Yeah. Just, jeebus. Fucking hell, people.
Yeah, and you know, like, some of these protesters have caught COVID, so, I mean, karma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like, this is why we told you to stay indoors, you idiots. That's the exact reason why.
Exactly.
And it goes...
It actually felt good reading that out.
Reading
that out.
There you go. And it extends to these preachers of these super churches, these mega churches, rather. That was one, I forget his name right off the top of my head, because I didn't put him in the file, because it's like, there's a lot of them. And this one guy is like, well, you take your stimulus money, which, by the way, not everybody has gotten. Just saying. I've got mine, but some of my friends have not gotten theirs. You know, just saying. And, you know, he's basically saying, take your stimulus checks and give it to the church.
Oh, fuck off.
I am not giving $1,200 to a church. I'm not even giving $1,200 to anything, at least not all at once.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't even give it to the church if I was religious.
Yeah. It's basically that $1,200 is theirs to help you survive. Now, if the government was smart and not selfish and not filled with narcissistic billionaire sycophants or billionaires themselves, then maybe the idea of even if it's temporary and you can use this as a means to test out how well universal basic income would work for the population, you know, $2,000 a month would cover everything for everybody. Although I think in some instances it might need to be a bit more because New York and LA exist.
Yeah.
And Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle too.
From what I've heard.
Yeah. But the point is, some people would need more than 2,000. There's a friend of mine who posted this thing on Facebook. I don't know if I can find the post, but I did, however, screen cap it and save it. And it is up here, it is up here, it is up here. That is not it. You could tell I did not initially plan to do this. But, okay. So, the group is called Roadmap to the Revolution. And I'm going to read this out because there are some really good ideas in here. And this is stuff that we should very well be pushing for. Not just for our government, for every government that's listening. You get the idea. So... And, yeah, here we are. All right. And the post reads as follows. Every American who survives, tests negative for, gets a vaccine, or otherwise is safe from the coronavirus will, by any means necessary, make their way to Washington, D.C. They will, if able, bring with them the materials to camp for up to 1 month or more without needing to leave their campsite. This will be the ultimate peaceful protest. Each campsite will maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from all other campsites. Protest will begin by surrounding and occupying the area around the White House, then the House and Senate, the Supreme Court, every federal building in the city, every local government building in the city, then the homes of every government official from the top down, then the entrances and exits to every major freeway, every major road, until everything in the city stops. This pattern will then be repeated, if necessary, in every capital city of every state. Bear in mind, peaceful protest. Obstruct. That's one of the things you do with a protest. You obstruct. So, and there is a list of demands because, of course there is, and they are as follows. Number 1, the immediate removal and annulment of the Trump administration, which, if the pandemic goes on as long as we think it might, which could be a matter of a year or two, then that may be null and void. But if he's still there, yeet him out. Number 2, the abolishment of the Electoral College. This abolition will be retroactive to the 2000 United States of America presidential and vice presidential elections. The record will show that George W. Bush and Donald J. Trump were never legally presidents. They're going back far on this one. Number 3, every action of both the Bush and Trump presidencies will be annulled, including every Supreme Court or other federal appointment.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Number 4. All elections from the 2000 election will be determined by popular vote. Which is, honestly, at this point, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Because more people, especially with this one, more people wanted Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. But no, Electoral College says... Oh,
I have a thing on that, but you carry... No, well, Idiot Features was talking to me about... he's being annoying. But anyway, he was like saying, oh, you know why Hillary lost? I'm like, well, we weren't actually talking about Hillary, but she didn't lose. Oh, she did. But no, well... Because of the system, no, forget all that stuff. And then, well, if you're forgetting all that stuff, she won the popular vote. She won the election. No, you're not listening. You're not talking.
Yeah.
That's what college needs.
Yeah.
Well, that's where college needs to go.
Where was I? Number 5. Hillary Clinton and Al Gore will, without any input or approval from Congress, fill any and all lifetime appointments left vacant by the annulment of both the Bush and Trump administrations. These appointments cannot be undone. Number 6. Neither Donald J. Trump or any member of the Trump administration, nor any member of the immediate family of Donald J. Trump, will ever be eligible to run for public office ever again. That not only takes out his family, it takes out fucking Penny Boy. Fuck you, Mike Pence. Your leadership led to an AIDS outbreak in Indiana. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Shame to be from the same state as he is. Good
Ooh.
God.
Yeah. Number 7. All corporate profits above $999,999,999.99, or to put it simply, $1 billion minus a penny, per year will be taxed at 100%. Any corporation who moves their operations to another country in order to avoid this tax will never be allowed to do business in the United States ever again. Fuck you, you billionaire tax evaders. All personal assets above $1 billion minus a penny will be taxed at 100%. All U.S. citizens whose assets currently exceed $1 billion in a penny will be stripped of said assets until they are left with a net worth of $1 billion minus a penny. Any individual who relocates to another country to avoid the seizure and or tax will never be allowed to do business in the United States ever again. Furthermore, no company said individual has ever had a leadership position and can never do business in the United States ever again.
Question.
Answer.
I thought if you were born in the USA, even if you're not raised there, you are still subject to your tax laws.
I'm honestly not sure about that, but in this particular case, it would probably close. This is probably closing some loopholes that I don't know about or what have you. But who knows?
Okay.
Number 9. Any business that becomes unable to do business in the United States will have assets and property located in the United States seized by the government. So if you go and try and tax dodge, not only are you not going to be able to do business in this country, your shit is ours. So it's like, yeah, we ain't fucking around anymore. Let's see. Number 10. Medicare will immediately be expanded to cover every person physically present in the United States, regardless of that person's citizenship status. It will also be expanded to cover all medical, mental health, dental, vision, and veterinary services. Medicare will also be expanded to cover all reproductive care, including birth control of all types, termination of pregnancy, sterilization procedures, and gender transition procedures. Taxpayers may opt in to have their taxes cover these procedures by using a checkbox on their tax form. So it's an opt-in, not an opt-out. So if little Granny Hubbard in Arkansas doesn't want her taxpayer dollars going to any of this, she can just leave it be, and they won't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you do
1
that.
second.
Huh?
I'm fine. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm trying to put my jumper on, but I have to take my headphones off in order to do that. So.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Number 11. Every person physically present in America, regardless of their citizenship status, will be entitled to $5,000 per month basic income starting on their 18th birthday, and this will be retroactive. So for somebody like me, 5,000 times rather, however many months it's been since October of 2000, that would be a lot of money. Every person physically present in the United States will also be entitled to an additional $1,000 per month per dependent, which will also be retroactive. My cousin has 2 kids. The oldest, I think the oldest one was born in 2006 or so. So it's 10 years worth of monthly $1,000 payment. She would be making out pretty good too. Let's see. The amounts may be raised for any reason by an act of Congress, but never lowered. So they can only go up. Number 12. A 10-year price freeze will immediately go into effect for all products and services sold within the United States. During this time period, businesses may only increase prices with the express written permission of the federal government. I like this idea because, have some stable prices. And there's one thing that nobody ever really notes, but when you buy stuff over here in an American store, you see the base price. You don't see how much it is with the tax. They add the tax there at the stand. At the register.
That would freak me out. I would be like, because I do a rough count as I'm going around, and then the idea that I have to add a percentage on top of that, it noodles my mind.
Yeah, and then there are some
tax. It works. It works. Just there.
Yeah, and there are some things that aren't taxed at all. Like in the state of Florida, food isn't taxed.
Cool. I think children's clothes and children's educational things like books, like certain books, if they're targeted for a certain age, they're not taxed.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, nappies or shit like that is. But it's so. Yeah, we have the similar thing that certain things are tax exempt. Not tampons. Just randomly.
Yeah. Okay. We've still got a few more to go. Where was I? Number 13. Okay. Every person physically present in the United States, regardless of their citizenship status, will be entitled to a home. All renters will be gifted the dwellings they currently rent. All mortgages will be forgiven. Empty dwellings will be seized by the government and gifted to all homeless or inadequately housed individuals or families according to their need. Everybody gets a home. Fuck you, homeless people. Not homeless people, but homelessness. And you can't really say fuck you, homeless people, if you're not homeless. Yeah.
Oh.
So don't have any homeless people if there's enough homes and people in those homes. Anyway. Number 14. Going forward, all elections will be conducted by mail. All public schools, colleges, and universities will be fully funded by the government with no cost to students for any tuition, materials, or food. Yeah. And that's another thing I've seen tossed around the past couple of weeks is Trump has been coming out against vote by mail because he's like, people could cheat that way. And it's like, people typically don't cheat. You might have an outlier, but by and large, it's pretty secure.
We have vote by mail.
Yeah, we have it here in Florida.
I don't. I just because where this is something else. I've had occasion to have this conversation with Erin a couple of times. It's like voting, cycles coming around various times. I'm like, so I just got this as it's actually at Quakers, I think. It's just I think a 5-minute walk from my flat. It's always that same location, always the same place.
Yeah.
And I was like, I because he was saying about, I think it was the 16 election. He was like, I've got to find out where I've got to go and I've got to sort out and get in the queue and make sure I can get there in time and not be running around too long. I said, you need to find out where you can. Why isn't it just there? This is your place. You live in this address. This is the catchment area for this particular polling office.
Yeah. I mean, for me here, we're a small town, so it's either at the City Hall or it's at the Civic Center. That's
I mean,
it for us.
He lives in a state capital, so then you'd think there'd be key locations.
You would think, yeah. But like I said, even here we do have the mail-in ballots here in Florida. You just have to request them, and I actually did that this last go around because we had a local one, and it was all well and good.
Yeah.
All right, number 15. A national kindergarten through 12th grade standardized curriculum will be established. It will include science-based, age-appropriate sex education with an emphasis on consent and personal responsibility. All Americans, regardless of whether they attend public schools or not, will be responsible for learning all of the material in the national curriculum before they may be awarded a high school diploma or GED. Which means if you homeschool your kids, they have to know this shit by the time you're done with them. Otherwise, they ain't getting that piece of paper.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 16. All personal, small business, corporate, and student debt will be forgiven immediately. A government agency will be established to oversee all future lending. This agency will monitor and regulate all lending to ensure honesty and fairness in the lending process. Furthermore, this agency will monitor Americans' creditworthiness. Every American will have easy access to their creditworthiness information at all times and may challenge, for free, any details they believe are false or fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it may not see much use if everything else is good, but, who knows? And the last one, number 17. Marijuana in all forms will be legal for all Americans to grow, purchase, and consume, regardless of age. Yes.
I would put an age limit on,
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, because, weed is kind of harmful to a developing brain. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I'd make it 21.
Okay. Yeah. Any person unable to join the physical protest will be encouraged to support, defend, and distribute this list of demands in any way they can. They are also encouraged, if they are able, to contribute money, goods, and services to the protest. Protests will grow and continue until the entire list of demands are enacted. So, that is from Roadmap to the Revolution on Facebook. I haven't seen it pop up. I don't know if it's just the one post and it just hasn't been shared as much. But if it's there... I highly suggest checking it out, sharing it, especially if you believe in all of those things that were listed out. And again, if you can get out to protest, do it. Obviously, it can't happen yet because we're in coronavirus times, but eventually we'll reach there. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and take our break, and when we come back, we will hit the news. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but... at some point, I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/gomer21xx, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/gomer21xx. Howdy, folks. And yeah, welcome to this mid-break thing that I'm doing. I haven't really played any new games in the past week or so, or anything much different. Mainly because I've been stuck on Animal Crossing and shiny hunting and playing Final Fantasy V, as I think I've mentioned in the main show. But there is one kind of Pokemon thing I am working on after the Guardian Legend finishes going up. And that is a Pokemon challenge of my own. I've been noticing and watching some of those put out by like Madry Bread or J-Rose 11. and Johnstone over on YouTube, and it looks like it could be pretty fun to try. So I'm announcing it here first, and it'll be on social media after this episode airs. But my first challenge is going to be Heart Gold with only one Umbreon, because of course I have to pick Umbreon. And you would think it would be easy for it. I'm up at the time of this recording. I've recorded footage up to Whitney, and you would think it would be all sun, daisies and roses and everything, because Umbreon's a fully evolved Pokemon. It's got better defenses, but no, it's and it could be partially on my part, like poor planning or what have you, but at the same time, it's not as easy as you would think it would be. Now, if you went through with an Arceus, you might have an easier time, but that also has yet to be explored. But yeah, I don't know when that video is going to go up. I've been working on it here and there over the past couple of weeks, among other things, and so that is something to look out for. Pokemon Gold with only one Umbreon. That's it. The run itself has been kind of fun, even if it's a little annoying at times. But yeah. So yeah, that's all for this particular segment. We'll get back to the show and to the news, and yeah, take care. And we are back from our break. Hope you guys enjoyed whatever it was I recorded for you guys, and everything else in there. But yeah, so I mentioned earlier in the show that we have some coronavirus stuff happening, and that leads us into our first news story, which also has a tweet that goes with it. People who've been around on the internet and YouTube and all of that, you might have heard of a guy by the name of Joey Salads. He's one of those YouTubers who I'm not sure what he does other than acts like a huge man baby when it comes to women trying to take a space on the internet or in gaming or anywhere. One of those assholes. This is the same guy who at a VidCon a few years ago went to a panel, took a bunch of his MRA buddies, went to a panel that was run by Anita Sarkeesian. This is important to the story. Entitled, I think it was like Women in Gaming or something like that. The point is the focus was women. And Anita Sarkeesian was there to run this panel. And Joey Salads got up, went onto that stage, and demanded she debate him over just men and women and things, stuff that was off topic. Because apparently you can't have a panel called Women in Gaming without talking about men in gaming. Because that's no. So he's already an idiot, and he's run for office. I think he lost. But I do want to note that this story and the tweet that leads into it was brought to us by our lovely Michelle here.
How?
So this tweet from Joey Salad says, Mother arrested in Idaho for letting her kids play in park. Our freedom has been revoked. We must take it back.
Oh, God.
Now, yeah, he's one of those assholes I'm willing to bet he's saying that to rile up people that are dumber than him, or at least more gullible, because they may not be dumb, but gullible as fuck. But this takes us to Boise, Idaho. That's a place I haven't been to in a while, nor do we visit it much here on this show. But here we go. A 40-year-old Meridian woman was arrested on Tuesday after she and a large group of people went to a closed playground, refused to leave, and Brady told an officer to arrest her. Brady's arrest quickly sparked another protest at Meridian City Hall. Do you see where his argument now falls apart, where Joey Salad's argument falls apart? The playground was closed. They were trespassing. So Sarah Brady was charged with misdemeanor trespassing and booked into the Ada County Jail at about 5 p.m. Tuesday. She has since been bailed out, because of course she was. The arrest was captured on video during a Facebook Live event and has made its way around social media, with one of the videos getting over 15,000 reactions and 13,000 shares. In a video posted to YouTube, Brady and a large group of parents and children are seen at the playground at Kleiner Park in Meridian. I swear I can read. With police tape that signaled the park was closed to the public due to the coronavirus pandemic visible on the ground. So there are signs that says, hey, we have a pandemic, go the fuck home.
Yep.
The city of Meridian closed their playgrounds down last month in order to lessen the spread of COVID-19, which can live on plastics, like a playground side, for days. Several Meridian police officers are seen in the video repeatedly asking the group to leave the playground, which the group refused to do. Brady, who was followed throughout Facebook Live, repeatedly asked one officer why they couldn't be there. The officer explained to the group that the city had closed down the playgrounds, but they could play in the open grass areas or on the sidewalks. So there were other places their kids could play and run around. You know, they don't need they don't need the playground itself. They had other options. Prior to Brady's arrest, the arresting officer is shown in the video saying, "Ma'am, I've told you to exit numerous times. This is it. Exit the playground area now. I'm really trying to be nice about this." And, by the way, on a bit of a side note, I think most people hearing this or reading the story without the video, because obviously we can't do the video, it's an audio podcast, but I'm willing to bet people are already guessing what race this woman and likely the other women and families in this situation are, just based on the police interaction. I'm willing to guess. And if you still haven't picked up on that, they all white. So
Yep.
yeah. The officer gives Brady one last warning, giving her to the count of 5 to leave. After he counted down to 3, Brady is heard saying, "Arrest me for being difficult. Do it. Record it." Then she asked several times if she was being arrested or detained, which the officer said she was being detained. Bit of Jacksepticeye slipped out there. I've been watching his videos more recently. As she was being handcuffed, Brady sternly said, while pointing to the ground, "Someone call the Idaho Freedom Foundation right now. Get them on the phone." I don't know why I went with that accent, but okay. The Idaho Freedom Foundation said it was part of a planned protest. They have an ongoing list of places that will hold protests against the stay-at-home order. Of course, because, it's so inconvenient. You're trampling on our rights. No, we're trying to keep your stupid ass alive. That's nothing to do with your rights. Half. Say again, I'm sorry.
See the rant in the first half.
Exactly.
In fact, feel free. This is me saying it as the person who wrote and said the rant. Feel free to clip it out if you want, if you need to share it or whatever, or I can provide the text if necessary.
Yes, please. And I'll even extend that to any part of any show that you want to send out to people, because I go off on rants. Holy shit! I think it's in the name. But
yeah,
you can send that to people. It's okay. You can do it. I'll be tickled pink. Unless you're some Nazi trying to do it, then what the fuck are you doing listening to my show?
Yeah.
So, because we are definitely anti-Nazi here. Anyway.
Yeah.
During the confrontation leading up to Brady's arrest, an unnamed city employee asked Brady and the woman filming it, "Were you guys organized to do this? So all of you just showed up at once?" Meridian police said in a statement that Brady had been non-compliant and forced them to arrest her. The video goes on for nearly 40 more minutes, showing a large crowd of people shouting at the police officer, asking them various questions about the legality of Brady's arrest. Spoiler alert, it's totally legal!
Sexy YouTube lawyer said it was.
Yeah. Following her arrest, roughly 100 people protested in front of Meridian City Hall. The Meridian Police Department said in a statement, "These are trying times, and the Meridian Police Department supports the public's right to assemble for peaceful protest. However, that right does not include damaging public property or ignoring closures of city property and facilities." Brady's arrest is another chapter in the growing battle between state governments across the country and conservative groups. As governors shut down non-essential businesses to lessen the spread of the deadly coronavirus, deadly. It's in the name.
People are dying.
And it has killed over 46,000 people in the U.S. at the time this article was published and at the time of this recording.
Not sure the UK numbers, but yeah. We're up there. We're high as well.
Yeah. I think the U.S. is the highest. I think.
Currently, yeah.
Yeah.
But people are still dying.
Yeah. Protesters say the closures and stay-at-home orders are unconstitutional and infringe on civil liberties. You know what infringes upon my civil liberties? You spread the deadly coronavirus around. That's infringing upon my liberty to live a healthy life. And maybe, and hey, staying at home for a few weeks and not going anywhere unless you absolutely have to. Yeah, that's a small price to pay to make sure people don't die. Look up the Spanish flu back in the 1900s. You're welcome. In Idaho, over 1,000 protesters gathered at the Idaho State Capitol building to protest the extension of Republican Governor Brad Little's stay-at-home order. A Republican doing something smart. Holy shit. Maybe DeSantis could take a lesson from that. But that's neither here nor there. This week, a Middleton gym and a Nampa bar announced that they will reopen despite the stay-at-home order. A man in the video of Brady's arrest can be seen wearing the shirt for the Middleton gym that is reopening. However, the stay-at-home order and the closure of all non-essential businesses are legal under Idaho's constitution. Idaho Attorney General Lawrence Wasden announced in early April that Idaho laws give the governor the power to restrict the movement of people and goods during a state of emergency, which Idaho is currently under. State of emergency. That means, hey, assholes, this shit is serious. It's the name, deadly coronavirus. People have died. In fact, just before we went to record, Elizabeth Warren's, I think it was her brother, had just passed away from coronavirus, which is sad. And it's like, hi, people are dying. Demonstrably so.
Not dead, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson caught it.
Yeah.
So even the elite, even world leaders are catching this.
Yeah. And I've heard that even Kim Jong-un caught it as well.
Really? Huh.
Either that or he's just sick of life. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he's sick and he could possibly be dying. So Scully, what do you got to say about all of this?
You want your kids to catch the fucking coronavirus? Because this is how you get your kids to get your kids to catch the coronavirus.
Yeah. Just, God. It's like better safe than sorry, people.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's like we don't go out in the hurricanes down here. We know better. This coronavirus is hurricane level shit.
Yeah.
And I know Florida's not the only one who understands this. Southern Alabama, Southern Mississippi, Louisiana, Southeast Texas, everywhere along the East Coast, and even along the West Coast. I'm sure they get some sort of hurricane action over there at some point. I don't know. I don't know hurricane or typhoon weather patterns over there. But still, you live along the coast, you know shit like this can happen.
Yep.
Take it as seriously as that.
Yeah. So when I sent it to you, I was like, I saw it on my tea break, so I didn't really get a chance to read it, and I just wanted to give you a link that had the whole story rather than just a random tweet. So I didn't actually know the Joey Salads thing, or if the fact that the person that was talking about it was slightly controversial. I just did it in good faith because I thought this could be a fun thing to talk about because people are being stupid again.
Yeah, including Joey Salads. And he's one of those assholes. One of those assholes, same as Trump, by the way, who is basically telling all these people, yeah, get out there and protest. Like Trump had those tweets a few days ago saying, free Michigan, free Virginia. And it's like, free them from what? You? That's the easiest thing to do. Go kill yourself. Which I know that's not the best thing to say, but it's like, logically, if Trump wants to free everybody in the country from him, easiest way to do it. Am I saying he should do it? I kind of want him to suffer. So no. But yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes me look so much better, right? Yeah, I don't want him to kill himself because I want him to suffer. That makes me look real good. But
that's Trump.
Yeah.
I kind of made a joke in reference to him a moment ago, but sexy YouTube lawyer, aka Legal Eagle, even though he obviously does American law, I'm learning a lot, and I've learned that you cannot sue China because of like Sovereign Nation Act thing. He hopefully plays it properly, and actually, going and out in public in places where in times where you could even accidentally. Now there are good faith people who are doing what they can just to get the shop, and they're in, they're out, they're done. They're being as careful as possible. I think those people are fine, but there are other people where if you can see delivering, I don't know, like licking toilet seats or licking aerosol cans or licking fucking ice cream and putting that back in the freezer. Yeah, that girl got arrested.
Yeah.
There is actually laws, like obviously the various states are state, but yes, actually you can get into trouble for going out and protesting for your rights if you are deliberately endangering people, because there are, as DJ goes into more specifics in the videos, they have their own lives, they have their own thing, but you will get into trouble. There are consequences, and I'll provide it. It is legal. It's easy to look up, but if you want, I can give you a link to the recent one I just watched, where he's specifically talking about going out and all this stuff. Like, because there's a thing called there's things to do with assault and battery and what they legally mean, and even it comes under terrorism, like because you are terrorizing a person or persons. Even if you haven't got the virus, going around coughing on people, saying, "Hey, there, you've got it." That's terror.
Yeah. Somebody with it should cough in Trump's face. Just saying.
Yeah. If you don't already, definitely watch Legal.
Yeah.
And not just because he's cute,
but
because honestly, it's. I mean, if someone who doesn't live under those laws is finding it interesting, I think an American definitely would.
Oh yeah. That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But so I name checked Ron DeSantis earlier. He is the governor of Florida, and he wants to do everything possible to please Trump. He is like the embodiment of the well done son guy, except Trump is not his daddy. Although I'm sure he would like him to be. Take that either way you wish. Both would be valid.
Kinky.
Yeah, indeed. And so beaches around here going to start opening back up if they're not already by the time this is up. I don't remember the timetable for it right off, which is really stupid because, this is coronavirus times. We need to be at home. And beaches are not essential. In fact, they could use to not have us on them for a few weeks. Let them breathe. But one guy is going to protest. Not the stay-at-home order, but the open up the beaches order.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Karen, I remember the story you're talking about.
This one is out of Walton County, Florida, which, by the way, is like a couple of counties away from me. So this is homegrown shit. Decisions about opening beaches in our area are being made now. One Florida attorney thinks it's too soon. In a now viral Twitter post he made only 1 day ago, he promises to travel around the state dressed as the Grim Reaper to protest beaches opening up prematurely during the coronavirus pandemic. Yes!
Nice one.
Now, remember this name. His name is Daniel Ulfielder?
Ulfielder, I guess.
Yeah. And he says sometimes you have to do drastic things to get people's attention. Last month, he filed a lawsuit against Governor Ron DeSantis in an effort to get him to close Florida beaches and issue a stay-at-home order. This time, he's promising to wear a Grim Reaper costume to beaches starting May 1st to send a message that this is not the right time to reopen them. Oh, God. Maybe, you know what? Maybe more of us should do that. Because he's only one guy. And there's a hell of a lot of beach in Florida.
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
I mean, I will take Panama City Beach. Because it's right south of me. Although you're dressed in all black, that's going to get really hot. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, more power to you if you can do it. This is not.
You can wear a breezy material. It doesn't have to be heavy sackcloth, does it?
Yeah, but. Yeah.
I take your point, but there are ways around it.
Yeah. All I know is black absorb heat transfer to me. That's all I know. This is not a wise thing to do right now. I would love to go to the beach myself. There's nothing I enjoy more than going to the beach. But in this situation, I think it's going to create a problem with drawing people to our area prematurely, said Daniel. It says his last name, but I cannot pronounce it for my life. He says there's no one who supports our beaches more than he does, but right now they need to remain closed because when they open back up, people from all around the United States will flock this way. Because of course they do. When you think of a beach, what is the first state you think of?
Florida, man.
Yep. So that's where people will go. That is why Club La Vila has been the number one nightclub in the United States. I don't know if they still are, but they're also the number one most overrated nightclub, but that's just me. But yeah, you got people coming in that may have the COVID, and then they bring it here again, or they take it with them to go back home. It happened before. Spring break. Everybody remember that?
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah. In this pandemic, we've been working to try to do the right thing and not rush to have people come to Florida and have this virus spread. My concern is that the progress that we've made could possibly quickly diminish, Daniel said. So Tuesday, he started a Twitter campaign with his plan to visit beaches and other places in Florida he feels should remain closed for now. Dressed as the Grim Reaper. The symbol of a Grim Reaper is a reality check as to what we're dealing with here. I understand the pressure to do this. It's a big part of our economy, but the virus is deadly and it's very contagious, and I think we need to be thinking through. He says medical experts he's spoken with in the Walton County area say beaches being closed has definitely helped flatten the curve of COVID-19 cases. He tells Cherish Lombard that he doesn't have the answer as to when beaches should reopen. He thinks time will tell. That's all right. Medical providers, doctors, they're the ones who are on the front lines who know what could happen if we overflood our system, and from my communications with them is that it's too soon at this point, Daniel said. During his travels, he's raising money to support congressional candidates who he feels are doing the right thing for our country. And he has a website, makemydaypack.com. Now, at the time the story was published, the Twitter post had more than 48,000 likes and 16,000 retweets. And I'm probably one of them because I did see it pop up organically on my Twitter too. He says he hasn't decided where his Grim Reaper message will begin on May 1st, but he will let us know, and we will let you know when he does. And we will probably let you know what happens on that particular episode because it'll be like a few days after he starts. So I like this. This is how you protest. Oh. Yep. Oh God. So. Michelle, what thoughts do you have at first?
One, it seems awesome. Two, I don't know if you still hearing me? Because no one else turned over causes problems.
Say again, I'm sorry?
Sometimes when I stand up there and says you can't hear me, can you actually hear me?
Oh.
I'm going to take that as a no.
You kind of cut out there for a moment.
Okay, I thought that was what had happened.
Yeah.
Basically, every week so far, every Thursday, we stand up and applaud our NHS, and I was just listening to the music outside. But yeah, the Grim Reaper dude, awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a quick side note because I'm sort of on the subject. Have you heard of a guy called Major Tom Moore? Oh, Captain Tom Moore, sorry.
I can't say that I have.
He's a little old man in the UK. It is not far from where I am, and he is turning 100 at the end of the month. And he has been doing laps around his garden. And he originally wanted to raise £1,000 for his carers, and he's raised over 28 million for the NHS.
Oh, that guy. Okay, I didn't get his name, so okay.
And he's released a single that went number one with Michael Voorhees did a version of "You'll Never Walk Alone," and people have been blasting that out during the applause. It's like I'm quite emotional at the moment.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we have a national health service where people, don't have to worry about paying for it. They just know it's there, and then they can use it. And like at the moment, we're protecting it because people aren't going to the doctors unless they really, really have to.
Yeah.
And we've lost nurses and doctors because
Mhm.
they are on the line fighting a deadly disease
Yeah.
that people. I think this is what gets me so het up with these protests, is because it's like, just, you're not the only ones. If for some reason this was okay, let's say for example it was. I mean, I think didn't the Spanish flu actually start in somewhere in America? Like say it was just for some reason only affecting you, that it didn't go across the borders to Mexico and Canada, that for some reason it was self-contained in the United States.
Mhm.
Difficult with all the borders you have, but possible.
Yeah.
Then I'd understand. Then I understand you getting antsy and saying, "Oh, this stuff is not real. Like nobody else in the world has it. This is just made up. This is fake news." It'd be stupid, but at least I'd understand it.
Yeah.
This is everywhere. And the only reason I said nearly every single country is on some kind of lockdown is because some are coming out of it. And I'm pretty sure Antarctica counts as a country, or at least a continent. And I'm pretty sure Antarctica's not in lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's why I couldn't say 100% every single country.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those scientists down there in Antarctica, I'm sure they're okay.
Yeah.
So even if everybody else dies out, the human race will continue. As long as they got some women down there.
So yeah, Great Ripper Dude, awesome. Captain Tom, awesome. NHS, awesome. I respect your healthcare workers and your key workers as well, because they're doing a difficult job. But my God, you need to sort out your fucking system.
Yes, we do. Scully, what do you have to say?
Now that's how you protest.
Anyway,
that dude's awesome.
Yeah. And it's a short news week, but that's okay. Our last one also comes out of Florida, Hillsborough County. And this is not directly related to the coronavirus, surprisingly enough. I mean, it's a part of it, but only in so much as to why this situation is in place in the first place. Parents will notice changes Wednesday with the grab-and-go meal program at Hillsborough County Schools, which at the time of this recording was yesterday. School staff are now using a tracker to make sure parents are not cheating the system. At the meal pickup last week, several sites ran out of meals. District officials discovered online postings of parents selling the meals, and they also turned away more than 40 cars from picking up meals because they already had school food in the car. We had some individuals who made undesired behaviors last week. Undesired behaviors.
That's
Decisions. Yeah. But we stand ready with new organizational controls. Hats off to operations in the IT department for helping us with this process. By the way, whoever wrote this quote out, do you not know what a comma is? Seriously. Like not one comma in the entire damn thing. But that was a quote from Hillsborough School Superintendent Addison Davis. Parents will have to give their child's name and school ID number in order to pick up food, and so they cannot pick up more than once. We want to make sure that children actually get the nutrition they need to be successful during the e-learning process, said Superintendent Davis. Now, the pickup lunch program, good idea. Kids need it, and not every parent out there is going to be able to provide, good meals for their kids because, hey, we got a lot of poor people. That's just a fact of life. So schools doing this is a good thing. I appreciate it. In fact, it is. I'm not the only one who appreciates it, I'm sure. But it's a general good thing. And why are they? And again, they're doing this because of the Corona times. So they're helping. And then you have parents. Some parents, and odds are they are parents, who think, hey, I can make a quick buck at this. No! There are ways to make money. And even in coronavirus times, I'm doing one of those right now because I get some money from Patreon, so I'm making a little money. But still, there are ways to make money.
Are they literally taking food out of their own child's mouth?
Either their child's mouth or somebody else's, or they're parents that don't really need the food but are selling it and depriving somebody else's child. So some child is going without food because you got some greedy ass parents. Now, if you can already afford to give your child food on a regular basis and not go, and not bankrupt yourself over it, then fuck you. You don't need to take part of this because you don't need it. This is for kids who do need it. Now, if you're on the borderline, then yeah, you might need it sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah. But there are plenty of parents who need the assistance, because hey, cooking meals, especially when you cannot get the materials very very easily, that's just no, you just can't. And that's for those people. So by going and selling it, and you're basically no better than scalpers. That's what they are. They are scalpers. Because, and over the years, I don't think I've brought scalpers up on the show much, but especially since most of the scalpers I hear about are like in terms of like video games and all of that, and that doesn't always come up on this show. But you get something at a cheap price, you sell it like 500% or whatever, and you make the profit off of some poor sucker. That's basically what these people are doing. And I'm willing to bet the same people, the people selling the meals, these parents that are selling the meals, I'm pretty sure they're selling to people whose money is tight to begin with.
Probably.
So they're not only depriving another child of a free meal, they are also selling it to people who are already hurting. That is bullshit. And to these parents that are doing this, to these scalper parents, I hope your genitals get eaten out by a rabid beaver. And not in a good way. Scully, what you got?
Fuck scalpers. I mean, really, any way you slice it, these people are just the scum of the earth. I mean, you already got people suffering, and, these motherfuckers are just making it worse for everyone because they're so damn selfish.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle, you got anything else to add?
So it's set up so the kids of each individual school or the main school, their parents can go get the food that they would have been eating if they were in class.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that scheme. That's a fun scheme. And yes, there should be, or should have already been, a system in place where I don't know exactly how it works, but like you'd assume that if the kid was already on a free meals program, that they'd obviously be at the top of the list, and then a means test on the way down. So don't steal the food from kids. Yeah. How much money do you think you're making off of it? What, a couple of dollars? For what? Stop it, selfish twats.
Yeah. I know times are tight, and there are a lot of businesses that have closed, so people aren't able to work. And the last time I checked the numbers, it's like 26 million people filing for unemployment.
Yeah.
And which all those all of those unemployment rates lowering since 2008. Yeah, those are gone. We just undid all that progress because and you can't blame it on the coronavirus for it, because you could still do better even with the coronavirus going around if certain things were happening. Remember that big old list I read off. If even some of those were in place, we would be better off. We really would be.
Yes.
Just overall.
I mean, I've had this argument. Well, I've had this conversation. It's like, this person's saying this, but yes, if you I don't know how much you each pay for your insurance or if you're getting through work or however that works.
Mm-hmm.
But I can imagine the amount I pay on national insurance has got to be way cheaper than whatever you're paying on your insurance contributions. And I get full comp because that's just how it works. You know, I have a stub toe. I get a plaster and a lolly and told to be careful next time. I rupture something, I get an operation, I get a lolly and told to take care of myself. Oh, by the way, here's your bag of medication you're going to need to take.
Yeah.
Same price. At most, I might need to buy a little extra medication for the ruptured thing, which is currently £9 for whatever the prescription is.
Right.
That's it. I pay a certain amount each month depending on how much I'm earning. You guys have to pay however much it is based on wherever you're living, based on whatever however it works out. And I know it's like complicated per person, let alone per state. And you don't even guarantee that the ruptured thing will be covered, let alone the toe.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. Oh, I have a story to add on to this one because when I drove for Celadon, at one point I needed to go see a doctor just to get a clean bill of health because that's what they had required at that particular point for me to start driving again. Okay, no problem. I know where the doctor's office is in this particular town. Sure. So I went, got the thing done. Insurance would not cover it.
Ugh.
So somebody was left with a $400 bill. Which that was my understanding at the time. Apparently, it's not just $400 for the hospital visit, but also $400 for the doctor. Separate.
Ugh.
And they're still trying to hound me. I was like, no, you got your money. Shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to block a couple of those numbers from time to time. And it's like, no.
So I sidetracked myself from my original point, which was, especially if you are a low-income family or a family that is encouraged to have lots of children for whatever reason, that saving just on the medical insurance alone must make a huge amount of difference to you and your family.
Oh, yeah.
So why you're protesting the idea of having a single payer or whatever you want to call it, why are you protesting the idea of universal healthcare when you will actually save so much money and you will see it in your pocket and you'll actually have that money you can spend on whatever else? Get the kids some new clothes, new toys, new food, fill up the cupboard.
Because people in this country, and when I say people, I mean the more gullible ones, have been tricked and convinced that socialism is bad because it hurts business. It will take their monay away. When really socialism will not.
Do you even know what socialism is?
Yeah. Whether it's socialism, whether it's actually socialism or not is beside the point. But even if it were, the only money that's going to be exchanging hands is coming from the rich people. Rich people, and by rich people I mean like the billionaires, are convincing people that if it's bad for the billionaires, it's bad for us. And that's just not true. Not in a general sense. Billionaires having to pay more in taxes, it might be bad for them, quote unquote bad for them, but it will be good for everybody else when the money is distributed properly to help everybody else. Because guess what? Billionaires cannot have their fortunes if there's nobody to work for them to generate that money for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody I follow on Twitter who has the "Don't Go Back to Work" as part of her Twitter handle, and I think that might be a good idea. If you can, don't do it. Let them suffer. And obviously there will be exceptions to certain things, but like if it's a necessary thing, like hospitals or grocery stores or what have you. But beyond that, no, fuck it. GameStop, you want me to run a GameStop? No, fuck you. I get all my games digitally anyway.
Same.
Half and half. Sometimes I like having the physical game.
Yeah.
I think I've said before, like Breath of the Wild is huge. You don't want that as a download.
Yeah. Well, I managed to. The only thing I've had to buy in terms of physical stuff, I've got like a larger SD card in there.
Oh yeah.
But the only physical games that I have bought are or opposite version Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So I have a physical copy of Shield, I have a physical copy of Let's Go Pikachu, and I just recently got a physical copy of the Mystery Dungeon remake, but that was a gift, so I didn't buy that. But yeah.
I do have a question that I meant to ask earlier. I think so. I heard so you got the stimulus bill, and I heard something about the coronavirus bill thing. Is that the same thing with different names, or is that actually two separate things?
I think the stimulus, I want to say the stimulus was separate, and then there's everything else going on. It's a clusterfuck in DC.
Yeah, it is.
So what actually? Because you said about the stimulus checks, which really doesn't seem like enough. Because as far as I understand, in Canada they're getting like a regular, like getting a grand or whatever each month for a time. Here, if you can't work, because we can't, like I said before, we are open. However, we've had people with health conditions, in one case of pregnancy, where they've been told, no, you have to stay home for at least 12 weeks. They're technically followed. They should be getting guaranteed 80% of their wages. I don't know if the boss is going to top them up the extra 20%. As far as I understand, it's complicated as fuck. Like, because he's had to, obviously wants to take care of his people.
Yeah.
But there is the option there that I think someone's saying that if you would be otherwise be redundant because the business couldn't have maintained itself by not being open, then this is supposed to provide that safety net.
Yeah.
So Canada's giving away checks. We've got this admittedly complicated but still in place system to make sure people are getting some kind of income, and you got 1,200 for 1 month.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to talk about doing more, which they should be.
That's cool.
Which they should be doing it more anyway. But you know, like I also said earlier, this would be a good time to try out that universal basic income program.
Yes.
Whether it's the 2,000 as some people are calling for, or the 5,000 from that list I read earlier, either way, 1,200 one time. Not going to do it for this one. It would work. 1,200 for one time would be a thing if everybody was capable of working under regular circumstances. This is not regular circumstances. This is a pandemic. You go out, you run the risk of getting this deadly disease.
So in that sense, I still don't agree with them, but at the very least, I can understand the frustration that has led to some people wanting to protest.
Yeah. And yeah, I do understand it too. Don't get, let it not be said that I do not understand. Like I said, I could use a haircut. I would like to go eat at my favorite pizza place. I would like to go see friends. Hell, I've got money backed up and saved. I could probably make another trip up to Chicago if I really wanted to, but coronavirus times, can't do that.
I want to hug my best friend. He won't even visit me from across the street.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
he's a PCSO, so he's quite a stickler for the rules.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But unless Scully's got anything that he wants to add, I want to leave it on a couple of positive notes.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to all of this, Scully?
No, I think I've got it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I just felt like we both overpowered you in this episode. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
That's right. You're coming into your own. You're getting more open and more talky. You'll get there.
Yeah.
So the first thing when you were reading out the first story about the car park, the playground stuff, when you were saying Meridian City, I think you'll appreciate this because in my head, my brain was going Meridian City.
Nice.
Oh. Now, see, I was thinking of a completely different Meridian, which why my brain didn't go Pokemon first, I don't know. But there is a city called Meridian in Mississippi. Well,
no, because it's in Pokemon, it's Viridian, isn't it? But my brain still went there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But the other positive. Speaking of Captain Moore, the current total, according to Just Giving, is £28,437,742 raised from the NHS charities.
Nice.
Oh.
From a guy who just wanted to raise £1,000 for his carers.
Damn. That is good. That is very good.
He's getting a knighthood. If he's not, people are protesting.
Yes. Now that is something to protest if he does not get it. So yeah.
Oh, and there's like he's been getting all his, like I say, his birthday's at the end of the month. There's like a picture in the metro today. So far, because they most of people have addressed to send cards and stuff and well wishes. So far, he has 40,000 cards. They've basically taken over a local school to like open up all his mail, so you can see like taking pictures of it. It's so cute. It's so adorable, and I'll yeah, like if you can try and check out this single he's done as well, because obviously Michael Wall's a very good singer.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then you've got this old boy just sort of singing along. And it's like, oh, it's so cute.
Awesome. So with that, we are going to go ahead and get out of here for this week. If you are a patron, then you will get the curtain call a couple of days after this goes up, or maybe the day this goes live. I need to settle on a schedule for this one. But yeah, and speaking of patrons, you also have access to the last part of the Guardian Legend tool-assisted run, and you will also have access to the full run if you want to see the whole 2-hour tool-assisted run for it. It starts out a little boring, but it gets a little bit better as I finally realize, oh shit, I should be doing more than just sitting there if nothing's coming at me. I'll also do a comment one with like running commentary as well, which will eventually become public, but hey, patrons as always get it first. And yeah, I've mentioned patrons. But, I mentioned it during the break because I always have that Patreon break thing, but I'll mention it here again, patreon.com/Gomer21XX. And if you want to toss some money my way, you can. It is good if you do. It'll help keep things going once things get done from Corona times and all of that, and it will keep me from, doing things like having to go back into the trucking industry. I'd rather not do that. It's not good for my health. But speaking of Patreon and patrons, Scolipendra, you are indeed one of my patrons, and where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Scolipendra and Scolipendra91 at tumblr.com.
Sweet. And Michelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Phoenix Lemons, PHEONIX11. And yay! So I recently did an unboxing for the Little Love Good special edition Wizarding World box, and I was Person of the Month.
Nice.
Nice one.
They always put like a different person on the month. Like one time it was someone I recognised from like having seen a couple of her videos randomly, so I shouted her out, and then when she saw it was me, she's like, "Oh my god, I know this person!" So hey.
Sweet.
So, yeah, but for that video, actually the most recent video is me showing off my sparkly file that I made.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I just like to, you can find me there. It's all good.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm in a strange mood.
It's okay. It's strange times. Strange times make strange moods. As for me, you can find me on the internets, on the Twitters, the Tumblrs, and the YouTubes at Gomer21XX. You can find me on Facebook at Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and you can find my stuff and the stuff of others, including One Crazy Weekend, which is hosted by Rosenthorn, who is obviously not here this week, but I'm going to shout out that show because I also edit it. He has already apologized for how much editing I've got to do with this next one. Oh dear. It's like have a counter every time I have to say "God damn it, Rosen." No, I kid, of course. Yes, I kid, of course. But you can find all that at rtgomer.com. And what else? And of course, I do have my own personal Discord. There is the Thespian Talk Discord, which I believe does go up with the doobly-doo. If you click it and it's not getting you to it for whatever reason, poke at me and I'll send you a fresh one. Same goes with my personal Discord, which I think might be pinned on my Twitter or in the thread on Twitter. I'm not sure. If not, let me know and I'll make sure it's there if you're interested in joining in. Which I bring up my own personal one because I actually have a bunch of feeds that will post like just some videos that I think are videos from channels that I think people really should look at, as well as some plugs from various people, including people that are on the site, and some people that are not necessarily on the site, but are in the server, or friends of the server, or friends of the show, or what have you, and their stuff gets posted there too. So it's a fun little thing. We could use a little bit more liveliness. It'll be great. But yeah, so that is it. Again, if you're a patron, stick around. You're going to have a curtain call coming up. But for everybody else, until next time, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Scolipendra and Michelle, signing off.
Bye.